For the first time since 2021, Konami has come back with a new entry into the Professional Baseball Spirit series. Not only this, but the release of Pro Yakyū Spirits 2024-2025 marks the first return to the PlayStation platform for the series since 2019. Now, if you've seen any footage of this game or checked out our Tokyo Game Show 2024 video of this, you'll know what the game looks like visually. But is this thing fun? And most importantly, is it worth your money? Well, we picked up a PS5 copy of the game and are here to tell you all about it. Let's get into it. Danny from the Famicast here. If you're new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe and turn on all those notifications. Sound off in the comments down below, and we may read it out on our bi-weekly show called the Famicast. Of course, you can find this in written form over on our website, thefamicast.com. Today, though, we're taking a look at Pro Yakyū Spirits 2024-2025 for the PlayStation 5 in this in-depth review. Now, to kick things off here, to my surprise, Pro Spirits this year actually offers support for English, Chinese, and Korean in addition to Japanese. Now, this is absolutely awesome, but you will definitely need to temper your expectations with this news. So the entire game itself has not been localized in your language of choice, but rather a handful of key elements. Now, mainly like explanations about the gameplay, mode names, and descriptions, things like this have been translated. Now, many of the more minute details, these are relegated to Japanese. While that is a little bit disappointing, I think it is great to see Konami responding to the wishes of fans who want to at least get the basics down to be able to play this awesome Japan-only game. Now, Pro Spirits also includes a digital manual in the game that you can check out if you want to know some of the more nuanced elements of the gameplay. Now, if this is your first time or if you are a grizzled veteran of the series, there might be some things in here that you might have missed out on. Now, and if you want like more in-depth translation about this game and stuff like that, I am not doing this myself, but I would really suggest checking out Pro Speed Translation, which is a great resource if you want some additional support. Now, just to be clear, I'm not affiliated with the team over there or anything at all, but I totally respect and appreciate what they do and have done for the community for years. Yeah, and I'll have that linked up in the description box below if you guys want to check that out. If you're coming from a game like the show or any other sim-style baseball game, you'll be able to pick up controls in Pro Spirits in no time. Now, for batting, normal hits can be initiated with X, opposite field hits with O, bunts with square, and you could turn on and cycle through power and regular swing with L1. Now, pitching here is also a breeze. You first select your pitch with the joystick or D-pad, select your location, and then press X. Now from there, there's this shrinking cursor as the ball is being delivered. Your goal is to hit X at the right time to perform a perfect or good enough pitch. Now, if you press the button too late, you'll be rewarded with a wild throw. So yeah, it's a little bit of a mouthful, but I think it's pretty simple to get the hang of. Now, fielding is also pretty simple here too, with bases being assigned to the face button. So you can dive with square, you can jump with triangle, and you can throw to the cutoff man with R1. Now, overall, it hasn't really changed much over the years, but I think the controls here remain great. Now, there are quite a few modes on offer in Pro Spirits 2024-2025. Now, some of these are pretty self-explanatory, such as things like Exhibition or Home Run Derby or Pennant, which is actually now dubbed as Season in English, and you can play an unlimited amount of seasons with this with the team of your choosing. Now, however, I think some of these modes do need a little bit more explanation. Now, just to be clear, the only mode I didn't dig into this time was online play via live championship. I currently don't pay for PlayStation Plus, so I can't comment directly on that. Now, overall, the menu system here has been completely revamped too, giving it a bit more of a modern feel. Now, outside of these main modes, you're also presented with a news feed highlighting the latest in the world of Nippon professional baseball right on the opening screen of the game. Now, there's also a shop that's available in the game for purchases, for picking up extra characters, in-game consumables, and also paid DLC. Now, this paid DLC includes the option to pick up official brass band themes for the teams. Now, at any rate, let's go ahead and move on to some of the other modes in the game. Back once again in Pro Spirits 2024-2025, Live Scenario puts players through real-world games that happen throughout the season in NPB. Now, these come in the form of short missions that came up at key points in games. Now, taking control of these allows players to replicate real-world events or to completely change the outcome entirely. I've always been a huge fan of this mode, and this holds the same in this year's iteration of the game as well. Now, while I do think it's pretty great, I can't help but compare it to the mode that's in Konami's sister baseball game, Power Pros 2024-2025. Now that game, not only do you have the options found here, but players also have the ability to create their own scenarios using current and classic teams. So I think it's a bit of a missed opportunity here, especially with this being the 20th anniversary of Pro Spirits, but here we are. Spirits allows you to create a player through a game of chance with this poker-like card system. Now, when you open up the mode, you'll be introduced to two options: Card Challenge and Kokusei Chance, or Awakening Chance. Now, to be honest, these kind of things generally don't interest me, but I went ahead and checked out the Card Challenge aspect of this. So after choosing your team and your player, you are thrown right into this card aspect. Now, the first part displays 5 cards on the screen, each with different numbers and attributes. You're essentially trying to match numbers, similar to poker, to find the best way to boost your player. You'll occasionally have a chance for to do something called double up your points via a simple guessing games. Now here, 2 cards are presented on the screen, with one being visible and the other being face down. You have to just guess if the visible card is going to be lower or higher. Now, if you get this right, you'll get a point increase. Now, after several rounds of this, you'll be taken to a card matching memorization game, and then once all that's complete, you'll take your earned points from the game and create your player. Now, I'll be honest, I found this mode to be a little bit boring, but I think some fans might find it as an interesting thing, an interesting way to create players. Now, Grand Prix, it seems like these type of modes are in a lot of sports games these days, and I think there are a lot of people that like this type of stuff. So just as the description says right when you open up the mode, Grand Prix basically tasks players with scouting and building a team of their dreams. Now, as a manager and outside of scouting, you'll be able to take on other CPU-controlled teams in an effort to enhance your players' and team's abilities. Now, during games, you don't have direct control over players, but rather can tell them what you want them to do in specific situations throughout games. Now, for example, if you have a man on second and your power hitter is at bat, you can instruct him to swing for the fences. So yeah, if you're into the more management side of things with sports games, in particular, obviously baseball, this might be something for you. Hakkyu no Kiseki, or White Ball Miracle, puts players into the role of a high school baseball manager in Japan. Now, as manager, it's your goal to develop and inspire players with the goal of winning games and ultimately going to the Koshien tournament to prove your team's worth in the country. Now, the mode is very text heavy, and it has you going through a lot of different menus and stuff like that, trying to build up your team. Now, this is mainly done by putting your team through numerous training exercises. Now, the playable games here give you multiple ways of play, including controlling everything, watching, or taking control of just one player, or you can just skip the game if you want as well. Now, the mode does give you complete control over selecting your school's location, the name of the school, uniforms, and more. You can also even arrange the look of your coach. All in all, I really thought that there was a lot to like in this mode, and I think it gives players a really absolutely fantastic look at what high school baseball in Japan is like. Yeah, same exact gameplay as just the regular pro stuff, but yeah, this was awesome. If you're into Japanese baseball at all, this is definitely worth a look. Star Player lets fans live the life of a professional baseball player in Japan, both on and off the field. You can create a new player, use an existing original player, or choose a player that's on an existing NPB team. Now, just to try out this mode, I opted to choose an existing player, my favorite player from the Saitama Seibu Lions, second baseman, Shuta Tonosaki. Now, this mode will have you chatting with your agent, playing baseball games, obviously, building relationships with teammates, and building up skills. Now, the actual games of baseball are presented in mission-like forms, and you have the ability to play on offense or defense at varying points throughout the games. Now, these can usually be finished somewhere between 5 to 10 minutes each. Now, outside of playing baseball, I was presented with an opportunity to hang out with one of my teammates. I chose all-star shortstop Sosuke Genda and went out for a very expensive session of karaoke. And that's just one example of some of the things that you can do. Now, yeah, there's quite a bit of text here again, so be sure to brush up on your Japanese skills or have Google Translate ready. If you played the series in the past, there's really not much different here than what you might have found in previous entries. But even with that said, I think this mode is still fun and offers quite a bit in terms of content. The idea in this mode, myBallpark, is pretty simple. Players take control of one of the 12 teams in MPB, build a competitive product, market your brand, and try to become the top team in the league. The teams are built with players of your choosing, represented by player cards. myBallpark allows players to compete with players from across the country or wherever they have the game in leagues and events. Now, I messed around a little bit with what's called the season aspect here, which seems like it's more of like single player type of stuff. So like some of the other modes, in the game, this is pretty text heavy, but it will take you through a variety of aspects of the off season before starting things off properly to play ball. Now you have control over spending the budget on things like sponsorships appearing in the ballpark, like on the walls and stuff like that, player merch sponsorships, events for fans, food, collaborations, and more. Now doing these will bring in more revenue and fans. So yeah, you're also in control over what kind of practices your players will do in an effort to strengthen the team. Now, once the season starts, you're actually able to check out the games as a spectator. Now, while I didn't get super deep into this mode, I can definitely see the appeal here. There are definitely a lot of elements to work through and decide for your team, just even in this season section. I think it's pretty interesting, but I was a little bit disappointed. Now, I personally wanted to just take over one of the existing teams with the real-world roster and just build from there. Now, unless I missed something, that doesn't seem to be the focus here. So yeah, if you're trying to build like a dream team or something like that, this is pretty cool. If you're looking to just to take over an existing team, I don't think that's kind of what the focus is here. Konami has really stepped things up in terms of graphics in Spirits 2024-2025. Using Unreal Engine and their own custom e-baseball engine, things look more realistic than ever. Players are incredibly detailed, and particularly their faces. The stadium is also full of life. They're revamped and full of bustling fans and even beer girls and stuff like that. The rain effects here look particularly nice, with rain beating up on players' helmets and puddles forming on the grounds. Or maybe that's just something that they put in as soon as you click on the rain option. I'm not sure. Another thing too, I can't be completely sure, but the rain does seem to have an effect on the ball on like a soggy field. So it seems like the ball reacts a little bit differently than what it would on like a dry field or something like that. So that's pretty cool. Tracking data here too for hits, runners, throws, and more are also on offer, really bringing the presentation to another level. Now, some of the animations in the game may look a little bit familiar if you played the series before, but I didn't see that as like a huge deal or anything. Simply put, things here are absolutely awesome when it comes to visuals and presentation. Pro Spirits runs at 1080p and targets 60 frames per second on a base PlayStation 5 unit. Now, I know this will be a bit disappointing to some of you guys out there. I know that it was to me. Now, as of right now, the game will be PS5 Pro enhanced, but the details behind that remain a bit scarce. Now, seeing as I just bought my PS5 in August 2024, before the price increase of the system, I'm definitely not in the market to get a Pro. I can't really comment on the PC version of the game here either, but I will again say that it does run smoothly on the non-Pro PlayStation 5. Pro Spirits 2024-2025 also sounds great. The commentary here is dynamic and pretty believable. The general sound effects are also top-notch, and sounds based on the kind of stadium you're playing in, like for example domes versus outside, etc. This type of stuff's pretty amazing. Now, not only this, but Konami has also included a special voice synthesizing AI system that enables player creations to be correctly and smoothly spoken in Japanese. I've hardly touched this, but I think the idea alone here is pretty cool. Pro Yakyū Spirits 2024-2025 is a fantastic game that should be on your radar if you're a baseball fan. It plays well, it looks amazing, and it's full of a lot of fun modes. Now, I may not be a fan of all of them personally, but I truly think that there's something out there for everyone. Now, although the game isn't fully translated or localized into English, there are brief English descriptions and an instruction manual that can help you at least get started with the game. If you're willing to work through some Japanese, I think you should give this one a try. But let's go ahead and turn things over to you guys. Did you pick up Pro Spirits 2024-25? Have you played any games in the series before? Who's your favorite Japanese player, current or retired, of all time? Sound off in the comments down below. We'd love to hear from you. Now, as always, thank you guys so much for checking out this video. If you like what you see, please feel free to drop this one a like. If you're new to the channel and feel that we've earned it, consider dropping us a sub. We've got a longer form bi-weekly podcast here all about games in Japan. We got video reviews, looks at Japan-only events, sports-related content, and a whole lot more. Again, this is Danny from the Famicast. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later.
All Pacific が先制しました。2対0になりました。甘い 球を見逃さず完璧に捉えましたね。
そうですね。